call this September 3rd Hoover City Council to order and ask the clerk to call the roll. Here. 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 If everyone would please stand, the city clerk will provide our invocation. And do we have any scouts here tonight? Okay, why don't you come on down because you're going to lead us in the pledge. Mr. Posey, appreciate that. So you're going to be after the invocation. Should just down there. Clerk.
Bow your heads. Dear Heavenly Father, I thank you for the many blessings you have graced people with. I thank you for guiding our leaders in this country, state, and city, and giving them wisdom in their many decisions. We also pray for peace and comfort to the victims and the families of the victims of the mass shootings this weekend, and also the ones that have previously been in the path of Hurricane Dorian. And in the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, amen.
If y'all would like to do the pledge, flags right here. Behind.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Why don't you go to the microphone and tell us what troop you with, what merit badge you won?
My name is Zachary Winter. I am in Troop 93, and I'm working on the citizenship and the community merit badge.
My name is Maddie Winter. I'm in Troop 193, and I'm working on the citizenship and the community badge.
My name is Paul Winter. I'm in Troop 93, and I'm working on the citizenship and community merit badge.
Gentlemen, have y'all heard of Bob's Boys being with Troop 93? You have? I'm one of Bob's boys. Amazing, isn't it? Still alive. Thank you for being here. All the members should have been presented with copies of the minutes. If so, I'm open for a vote, motion.
Move for approval, not read.
Second. Have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed nay. The ayes have it. Announcements, reports. Mayor, do you have anything to start?
I'd like to invite Craig Kelly up tonight, our school board president. I think he's going to have a few words with council in the audience.
President Smith, council, thank you for letting me address you tonight. When school was out last spring, if you don't mind, I'll address it. When school was out last spring, Dr. Robbins, Mr. Jim Grosso, the principals at Berry Middle School in Spain Park, reached out to the board with the need for a sidewalk. We didn't have a sidewalk between Berry Middle School and Spain Park High School. The sidewalks not only, or the areas not only used for our children, it's used for a lot of the public. It walks between Veterans Park and Caldwell Mill Road. So I'm here tonight to thank you from the Board of Education, the superintendent, all our stakeholders, and hopefully you that are on that campus. We now have a sidewalk that stretches from Caldwell Mill all the way to Veterans Park. So it's a beautiful area. We hope you enjoy it. I just want to make sure I don't forget to thank everyone involved. Mayor Cato, thank you, sir. City Council, thank you. This is truly a donation from the city of Hoover. Signature Homes contributed in with some of the labor, even down the concrete, one of the local suppliers donated concrete. So this was totally, even though we have public works involved with the city, this is a donation and continuing cooperation from the city of Hoover and our community, our industrial partners. So it's important. Please go out and use it or take a look. Mr. Daniels, thank you to your staff for what you did to save the trees out there. We had some sawtooth oaks that had been planted since the school was there. They were up probably 25 to 30 feet. It was first told, I think Mr. Westover expressed an opinion we might not could save those trees. They went to the trouble of saving all but one of those oak trees. So it's still a green campus. Hopefully they survive, but it took a lot of work to leave those trees there. Mr. Westhoven, thank you again. Mr. Rice, I'm thanking you also. But thank you for volunteering to paint the turn arrows, the stop bars, the crosswalks, and installing the stop signs. The road between Valleydale Road and Caldwell is owned by the school district. So that would normally be our expense for the sidewalk, be our expense for the stop signs, the painting. So again, thank you for what you did, donation to our city schools. It just continues to show how much we appreciate the relationship we have with the city. Thank you for that.
Thank you, sir.
Mr. Kelly, I think you will continue to see that kind of cooperation through this administration, and our council, and mayor's office, and all of our city employees. Although we're two separate organizations, we consider us all to be on the same team, so you can count on our support to continue. Thank you. So we have two great organizations in our city that help the folks that are in the most need in our city, and certainly we have many people that every once in a while need some help. And we've got two great organizations started here called Hoover Helps, and then most recently Neighborhood Bridges, which are really having a tremendous impact, particularly on our children, our school children, and we're proud to have to be a partner with them, and proud of just what they do in terms of serving our community. Tonight we have two young people that are very involved in both of those organizations, and they're going to give us a report. We have Miss Chloe Bishop and Mr. John Cox. If y'all would come up and give your report, we sure would appreciate that.
Thank you for having us here tonight. My name is John Cox, and I'm currently a senior and varsity baseball player at Hoover High School. It is my privilege to serve as an intern for the organization Hoover Helps this summer. Being a part of the Hoover City Schools Business Academy and Hoover Helps has definitely been a great experience. As a part of our commitment to keep the city informed, I'm providing a brief update on 2018 and some key initiatives on 2019. Hoover Helps is currently working with 16 organizations in Hoover that support our children through backpack feeding programs. Their yearly donations represent over $113,000 worth of food that goes directly to our Hoover children. At the end of the 2018-2019 school year, there were 494 children in Hoover receiving support in some way in the backpack program. Hoover Helps also supports the Hoover City Schools Meals in Motion food bus that delivered 14,399 summer meals this summer. This was almost double the amount delivered in 2018. Although we are not supporting them financially, Hoover Helps has also helped facilitate other feeding projects outside of Hoover in places such as Hueytown, Fultondale, and Birmingham. The last 3 summers, Hoover Helps has worked closely with the Community Food Bank of Central Alabama to deliver large boxes of food and fresh produce to the families in need. Giving out the boxes of food and fresh produce is one of the most memorable projects we worked on this summer. Getting to bring together varsity baseball players from Hoover and Spain Park to work and help others in need is something I'm very proud of organizing and being a part of. In 2018, Hoover Helps provided $34,400 to support people in Hoover. The amount was divided into several categories, as you can see in the handout and diagram that I provided to you, and also on our Hoover Helps scorecard. Roughly $12,000 was donated to support summer feeding initiatives. About $7,000 was donated to support other initiatives in Hoover. Almost $6,000 was donated to current backpack feeding programs that provide weekend food to Hoover children that are food insecure. Around $5,000 was provided to families in crisis. About $3,000 was donated to support feeding programs at both high schools. And finally, $1,500 was donated to provide food to various Hoover food pantries. I can't tell you how much working with Hoover Helps and seeing the people and children this organization has helped has made me realize what a great city we live in. Hoover is a place where people are kind and generous and want to help neighbors in need. Thank you for leading our city, listening to our update, and most of all, supporting Hoover Helps. Thank you for your time. We're providing our August Kindness scorecard for Neighborhood Bridges. And for more information on Neighborhood Bridges, here's Chloe Bishop.
Like my cousin said, I'm Chloe Bishop, and I'm here to talk to y'all about Neighborhood Bridges. Neighborhood Bridges was founded here on January 25th, and since then, Hoover has proven what a great place it is to live in, filled with such amazing people. As a reminder, Neighborhood Bridges Hoover provides a gateway to kindness. It's a tool that Hoover City School counselors and faculty use to post the needs of individual children. On Monday mornings at 9:02 a.m., people in the community receive those needs in their emails. Needs are normally filled within minutes of being posted. Since February, there have been 161 needs posted in 209 days. There have been 256 donations that have benefited 974 Hoover children. We now have 927 subscribers that receive those weekly needs. Neighborhood Bridges has expanded into 10 communities in Ohio, where it was founded, but also in 6 additional communities in Alabama. I encourage all Hoover residents to participate in acts of kindness by enrolling their emails at neighborhoodbridges.org. Thank you so much for your time, and I'd be more than happy to answer any of your questions.
Does council have any questions for either one of these young people doing an amazing job helping people that are in positions where they can't help themselves generally? I'm doing good work. Thank you. Mayor, we need a picture taken? Please. You don't want to be in there too? I know we also had a request, and we may as well go ahead and do this now, from the Monte Dior neighborhood, going to speak in the report section. Yes, ma'am.
Suzanne Wright, Monte Dior. And I want to just read this to you real quickly, just to get it on the record. On behalf of the Monte Dior Neighborhood Association, I thank you for attention to older neighborhoods needs, especially by providing a building inspections department and zoning regulations. We've had supportive results from Robert Mack and Jim Wyatt. We need more assistance due to the geography of our historic community. Specifically, we continue our need for weed and trash enforcement with 2 more properties, which are 2829 and 2846 Wisteria Drive. Mr. Mackey is dealing with 2874 Wisteria Drive. Additionally, 2900 Wisteria Drive has a street-side collapsed fence due to overgrown weeds. Everyday Quick Stop on Lorna and Wisteria continues to ignore the property trash accumulation. 3033 Lorna Road structure and the Alabama Golf buildings have invasive bamboo that's knocking down 2 Monte Dior home fences. This vegetation encroachment threatens property of private citizens. Neighborhood representatives have spoken with 3033 property and the Everyday Quick Stop, and I'll say numerous times, and have been rebuffed. As you see, Monte Dior is constantly infringed upon by properties surrounding us. Our homes have maintained property value and close communication by neighbors, but we need further help. As always, you can count on all of us to help you correct these unattractive situations in Hoover's first entry neighborhood. Questions?
Well, I would just gonna ask if Mr. Rice and the mayor, if they would see the staff follow up on this. I will provide my copy to the clerk to be added and included with the minutes.
Do you need more people to work within this department? Only I could ask that.
All right. I might take that up with the mayor. We have another special guest that just came in, State Representative Louise Alexander. you like to come down, Matt? Understand you have a
Thank you for coming.
conversation you'd like to have.
So several months ago, or actually probably over a year ago, we embarked on building our Explorer Playground splash pad, and this information is as much for you as anyone. We average over 20,000 visitors a month. 40% of those visitors are from outside Hoover. And so our survey also indicates that 13% of those visiting the park have special needs or disability of some sort. And so when we embarked on building this, we looked at it as not Hoover Park, but something for the entire metropolitan area. And so we asked various organizations, we want to raise $1 million of the $2 million. So we asked various organizations throughout our metro area, private businesses, various charities, various organizations donated to help us get to that. The Jefferson County Commission participated and gave a sizable amount of money. But I think our largest amount came from our state senators and our state representatives who pledged a significant amount of money towards this project to help us reach that goal. And so tonight, State Representative Louise Alexander is here, who represents our western part of Hoover. Starts about Ross Bridge and maybe Lake Cyrus. She took Lake Cyrus away. She's got Ross Bridge, so we appreciate that she would. They have an opportunity to provide funds for very special projects in their district, and I'm happy to announce tonight that I think she might want to say something about her contribution.
To the mayor and the city councils of this great city, the mayor did talk to me and my colleagues, and I did pledge $25,000 over the term. So tonight I'm here to present you with your first $5,000 check.
We're working on budgets, so. Anything else, Mayor?
That is it. Thank you very much.
All right. Next is our consent agenda. It's presented to the council president at the beginning of a council meeting. Items presented on the consent agenda are considered routine and non-controversial and are organized apart from the rest of the agenda and are adopted by general consent without debate. Items may be removed from the consent agenda at the request of any one member of this body or the public. Items removed may be taken up immediately thereafter the consent agenda or at a later time. With that being stated, first, do we have any members of the council who wish to remove any item from this consent agenda? Anyone from the public? Seeing and hearing none, Mr. Corley, if you take care of the legalese.
Yes, sir. Resolution number 606219 authorizes the advancement of funds for the training of Police Captain Norman Duffy to attend the FBI National Academy. Resolution number 606319 accepts public improvements within the road right-of-way for the following subdivisions: Sawyer Trail, Phase 1A, 1B, and Phase 2. Resolution number 606419 accepts public improvements within the road right-of-way for Reynolds Landing, aka Sawyer Trail subdivision. Resolution 606519 authorizes Mayor Brocato to execute an agreement with the International Association of Chiefs of Police Police to develop a police sergeant and police lieutenant promotional assessment center. Resolution 6719 amends the budget for fiscal year ending September 30th, 2019, as set forth on the exhibit to the resolution. Resolution 606819 reappoints Brian Etheridge and Jonathan Belcher to the Industrial Development Board of the City of Hoover for 6-year terms. Resolution 606919 approves an alcohol license for 5532 Grove Boulevard for ESM Hospitality, DBA Fairleys. Resolution number 607019 authorizes Mayor Brocato to enter into an agreement with Regions Bank for the scheduled fees for the Hoover Investment Camp.
Mr. President, I move for approval of all items on the consent agenda.
Second.
This also includes the bills.
Yes, sir.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Now moving on to our regular agenda, Resolution 606619, Mr. Corley.
This resolution declares the following property as a public nuisance due to weeds and or grass thereon. 5553 North Ridge Circle, Hoover, Alabama, and orders the abatement thereof as provided under Alabama law.
President, I move for approval of resolution 606619.
Second.
Motion and a second. Mr. Mack, have a report for you, please.
This property, this is going to be the first hearing for this. This is a house that's under construction, and the builder has not been out there for quite a while, and it's, as you can see, it's overgrown, and this will be the first hearing for this.
Any questions for Mr. Mack?
Yes, Mr. President. Mr. Mack, was this picture taken today?
Yes, sir. This photo was taken after lunch today.
Thank you.
Anything from the audience here to speak to the subject? Seeing and hearing none, we've got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Next, we have ordinance 19-2454. Mr. Corley.
This is the second reading. This ordinance rearranges, alters, and extends the city's corporate limits to include property owned by Black Ridge Partners LLC, as shown on the map attached to the ordinance.
Mr. President, I move for the adoption of ordinance number 19-2454.
Second.
A motion and a second. This is the second of 4 parcels that have to be annexed in pieces because it is contiguous to property that resides in another city. Any comments or questions from the council? Any from the audience? Seeing and hearing none, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Mr. Raines?
Aye.
Mr. Moya?
Aye.
Mr. Murphy?
Aye.
Mr. Lindsey?
Aye.
Mr. Show?
Aye.
Mr. Smith?
Aye. The ordinance is adopted. Next, we have Resolution 605419. Corley.
This resolution declares the following properties as public nuisances due to weeds and or grass thereon. 2874 Wisteria Drive, Hoover, Alabama, and 2384 Chapel Road, Hoover, Alabama, and orders the abatement thereof as provided under Alabama law.
First, we're going to have a public hearing before we move to the resolution. Is there anybody here that would like to speak for or against any activity the city may take concerning this property, these properties? Any comments or questions from the council? For the lack of participation, we will close this public hearing, and the chair is open for a motion.
Mr. President, I move for approval of resolution 605419.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Once again, any comments or questions from the council? Mr. Mack, you've already had your conversation.
Yes, sir. This will be the final hearing, so the abatement will take place. We've cut the one on Chapel Road before. This will be the first time on Wisteria Drive. So the owner made an attempt, but it's not up to my full satisfaction on that. So the one on Chapel is vacant. We should have that one cut this week.
Your satisfaction is based on city ordinance,
Yes, sir, on city ordinance.
not just because you.
Not just my one.
questions or comments from the council?
I do have, let me get
Yes, sir.
one question. So, I know we at one point we talked about, and I don't know if this, owner is a retiree, not capable, but I know at one point back, we talked about some opportunities to aid out in that, of putting a team together or some type of volunteerism that they can occur to help out certain folk that may not have the ability to do certain things. Where we are on that particular, this may not fall upon it, and that's fine. I know we had some discussion on that.
Our director of our department has been in contact with churches, and he's instructed me if I find that situation where somebody is in need, we try to put the churches and that person together. So that's something I know we've been trying to help with. But that's not, in this situation, that's not what's happening.
Okay, but we have that in place. Okay, thank you so much.
Anything else from the council? Anything from the audience? Got a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. The ayes have it. Next, we have a first reading of ordinance 19-2455. This is parcel 3 of the 4. We just completed parcel 2 a few moments ago, Mr. Corley.
This ordinance rearranges, alters, and extends the city's corporate limits to include property owned by Black Ridge Partners, LLC, as shown on the map attached to the ordinance.
This will be second reading and likely vote should happen September 16th, just a couple of weeks. Ordinance 19-2456, Mr. Corley.
So first reading, and this ordinance amends certain sections of the municipal code of the city of Hoover to relocate meetings of the Board of Zoning Adjustment, City Council, Planning and Zoning Commission, and the Hoover Arts Council to the locations listed in the ordinance.
This is a first reading. This has to do with the renovation of these chambers. Eventually, we will do the same thing, but this ordinance is going to allow these bodies to meet in the senior center during the time of any renovations. Next, we're gonna, for any questions from the council? All right, next we have first readings and setting of public hearings for September 16th, 2019. Resolution 605719, Mr. Corley.
This grants a conditional use approval to allow for use of a Class A climate-controlled storage facility to be located at 281 Ross Bridge Parkway, Hoover.
Any comments or questions on this from the council? Resolution 605819, Mr. Corley.
This resolution grants conditional use approval to locate a restaurant and brew pub with indoor-outdoor recreation and amusement at 1031 Bronx Gap Parkway, Suite 191 in the Bronx Gap Village Center. The restaurant concept would include alcohol for on and off premises sales and recreational amusement to consist of various games and activities.
Is the applicant here tonight? Usually, we expect any presentation for an application of this type to be made at the first reading. That way, at the second reading, both the council and the public are a little more informed to be able to ask more precise questions. And then at the second reading, the only thing we would go over would be any changes that may have occurred between the first and the second reading. So there is no applicant here tonight.
Not sure if he was made aware of that, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, very good. Mr. Rice indicates that maybe the applicant was not aware that we needed his attention this evening. Yes, sir.
605719. The applicant is being,
No, that we were on 6058, but if the applicant for 6057 has a presentation, then now would be the appropriate time.
It's
Slade Blackwell, 2501 Lockton Road, Birmingham, Alabama. If you're, Mr. President, if you like, I've got, that's it right there. All those others are hunting pictures, so don't show those. But I've got a short presentation that I have to go through and ask you guys have any questions. I actually have, last time I came, I did not have hard copies, so I have hard copies for you guys as well. I'm with Stories. My name is Slade Blackwell, and we're proposing to build a climate-controlled Class A facility here in Hoover. All right. And this is the site plan. We've worked a handful of times with the city and also with the planning department, and there's a lot of things I'm going to point out that probably won't be evident just by looking at it. But this is the existing and the future topo of that site. And one of the things about this site, it literally does this. It goes up 50 feet from the bottom all the way up to the top. So this site is very hard to build on. I think we're spending about $900 grand on site improvements, dirt work, things of that nature. But we've got it where it also lines up. If you see the road that comes up and the entrance to the site, we line that up, needs help. So it comes up to the top, keep coming right there, and it comes in. This meets all the parking requirements there, so we don't need any issues there. It also meets all the setbacks, and it does not create any traffic issues because of the low traffic count. Next slide. This is our landscape plan. We spent a lot of time with the city getting this right and making sure we have all the trees and bushes and making it look real pretty. There's a lot of things going on here that you might not notice. The fire lane in the middle is what the fire chief asked us to put in. So basically, when people come in to the facility, they can, there's a fire lane, they're parked next to the building, and they're unloading, there's a fire lane to get in and out. Also, these little tiny little blocks right there where he's pointing out is also entrances to the building. And so we staggered those so they wouldn't cause any congestion. There's 11 points of access there. The landscaping also creates a buffer as you come in off Highway 50 down here at the bottom right here. And so you will see the facility, but also there's a nice greenway all the way into the facility there. All right, next slide. This slide, I know it's too confusing. You don't really want to see all this, but what I'm trying to point out is the traffic count of cars coming into this facility is extremely low. You kind of see down here at the bottom, weekly trips compared to multifamily. Our facility, we're only projecting 3 to 6 per hour. Your business hours, that's not much longer. Okay, next slide. This just shows a graphic of our trade area, of what the next slide is going to show. Go ahead. So basically, when we do our market data, we want to make sure that we're going in a facility or area that has demand. Top area on the right-hand side, 337,000 is the market demand of square footage that the public needs. Right now, 197 is being utilized, and the unmet need is 140. And we're only, at this point, projected to build an 80,000 square foot facility. So we're still under the need. Okay? So we're already to this beautiful rendering that cost more than my car, my first car. I mean, we went through about 3 or 4 different renderers that we fired. Anyway, get back to the point. There's a lot of things going on here that you might not notice. First, we met with the city, met with the zoning, and took all their input for this rendering. Also met with several members of the neighborhood, took their input into the facility. First, you can see the color of the brick. That matches Ross Bridge's Welcome Center. So we did that on purpose. The elevated tower elements, you see the higher roof pitches on both sides and also the building in the back. That was to match the elements as well. You also see the wood trusses along the roof line, exactly all the way on both sides. That's to match Ross Bridge as well. Also, the corner elements where the glass is, we added that. and also that shingle roof on both sides of the facility as well. The lights on the building are down lights. They're made to match what's there at Ross Bridge. And Mac, if you can find this, I'll be impressed. You already found it. So the site lighting is right there in the corner. It's down lights, so the light doesn't shed all over the property. And that matches a Ross Bridge element. Last slide. Y'all see anything that's missing? All right, so what's kind of cool about this was obviously the city, what they wanted us to do. There's no external storage doors. So, you don't see big orange doors anywhere. And so what's really nice about this is those points of entry that we talked about earlier. That's how you get inside the facility. So this does not look like a storage facility from the outside. There's no fence around the property. So there's, not that element that looks bad on the road. There is no gate to the facility as well. And also, if you kind of look at it, remember the property does this, literally 50 feet. We designed it where when you enter the building, you enter on the same surface everywhere. Even though it's somewhat 2 stories, it's really 1 story. That kind of makes sense. So we're not building like a 4-story facility. It's low profile. We got 80% brick over the entire facility. And then also the building signage is appropriate, meets code, and it doesn't stand out, it's not flashing lights and things like that. Mr. President, that's it. I'd be happy to probably take some questions.
First, I want to make sure everybody understands who this gentleman is because he has helped Hoover in the past. This is Senator Slade Blackwell. He gave up his seat for a gubernatorial race, and then, I don't know, maybe his wife or something.
They didn't last but a weekend.
Yeah, he made it through the weekend. But he has helped the city in the past, not that the city is obligated for anything. One question I do have is, do you plan on renting moving vehicles off this site?
Like
Trawl or something?
No, absolutely not.
Thank you. Any other questions from the council? Anything from the audience? All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys.
We'll see you again in a couple of weeks. Get 6058. All right, resolution 605919, Corey.
This resolution grants conditional use approval to allow for a shopping center located at 5190 Medford Drive, Hoover, Alabama.
Is there an applicant here for this? Do you have any type of presentation that you'd like to make?
Sure.
This is Jubilee Joe.
Yes.
I will go on record saying you have amazing red beans in
Appreciate that. Hopefully we'll be selling a bunch of this. I'm Bill Wilson with Donald Franklin Associates, with the River Chase Drive, Suite 200, Hoover, Alabama, 354. We're up in the shops of Hoover. You'll have to forgive my thing here, it kind of wadded up in the truck, but this is the last lot that's up here at Woods and River Chase. Woods shop of Hoover. We got Sprouts here. We have the Starbucks here, 459, 150. What we're planning on doing is putting in one structure with parking in the front, parking on the side. Big retaining wall that you can see from 459 is back here behind the building. The Jubilee Goats will be up here at the front, so it'll be the main portion up here at the front, so you'll be able to see it well, Highway 150 and 459. So there you go, there's just some site plan right there. And what the owner would like to do is have the possibility to be multiple tenants, do more than 2. Right now he has planned for 7. but really that's gonna be dictated by the number of tenants that wanna come. He doesn't have anybody leased out but himself at this point in time, so he just wants the opportunity to be able to put more tenants into his building.
So square footage, the number of units will be determined by what square footage any one company might need.
That is correct. So we'll put a mounting wall for how much square footage you want to have. We've got about, I think 11,000 square feet total in the building.
Very good. Any questions from the council?
Mr. President, may I? This is, I guess, a site-ready site. There will not be any dirt work going on up there. And the reason I ask is, you may be aware that the lakes and Trace Crossings have been the unfortunate bystander of the shops of Hoover. So do you mind just going on record with what earthwork will have to take place in order for this to come up out of the ground?
This is a pad-ready site. There will be minor grading that will have to take place to be able to get your building pad in there and your parking lots in there. This lot has already been supplied with storm sewer that will tie directly into. We'll put in the proper BMVs and erosion control measures that are required by our state. We'll pull a permit with ADM, LY, those are the things that we have to do. So we'll protect it as we need to, and this lot does flow into the detention pond that's already there. It's as a master detention for this overall development as well.
Have you had conversation with the people that live around that small lake that is proximate to the site? They've had to live with a lot of issues with previous build-outs.
No, I don't believe
You might want to reach out to them, just have a little neighborhood meeting, get Mr. Martin to come with you. And reassure them that you're not going to allow anything to happen to their lake. Any other questions from the council? Any from the audience? Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next, we have resolution 606019, Mr. Corley.
This resolution will grant conditional use approval to amend the site plan of the conditional use approval granted in January 2019 for crossings of Hoover Senior Living Center, includes independent, and memory care.
Is the applicant here tonight? Mr. Martin, is there anything you think we should know?
Just to state that the reasoning for this application, as you may recall, a conditional use has been granted previously for an assisted living facility at this location. There were some modifications to the site plan, altering the parking field to some extent, and also altering the south wing of the proposed building from a one-story memory care to 3 stories, 1 floor memory care, 2 floors assisted living. So those alterations prompted the need for an updated site plan with conditional use. City staff and planning commission not have any issues.
Very good. Any questions from Mr. Martin? Anything from the public? Mr. Martin, while you're there, I'd like to jump back to resolution 6058. Conditional use on Front Gap Parkway. This has, it includes alcohol for on and off premise sales of alcohol. Can you explain the off part?
Yes, sir. It's my understanding, based on the application, that this component, the Hobson Walk location, will have full-service restroom, but also a tap room component. And according to the application, the tap room component will be for on-premise consumption along with your meal, or just by the glass on-premise. And also my understanding that folks will be able to bring growlers and have those filled and taken home with them. So that's the extent of the on-premise and off-premise, to my knowledge.
Part of that to allow them to be able to have alcohol out in the parking lot for their games.
There would not be any alcohol consumption in the parking lot that I'm aware of.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
But there is an intent to have a patio set up on the exterior of the building. And of course, it would have to comply with all the regulations ABC has for that.
Perhaps we can take the, of course, Mayor, you did sign an agreement. I don't know if that means we could go after the National Cornhole Championship or not, but I guess we will see.
One thing of note, of course, as we mentioned in the work session, the live entertainment component of the original application was removed voluntarily by the applicant at the planning commission level. So live entertainment is not a portion of this application.
Very good. Any questions for Mr. Martin on this particular subject? Anyone from the public? With nothing else, that completes our agenda for this evening. Now we're going to open the floor for comments and questions. First, the council. Does anyone have anything to say, ask, inquire? Anyone from the audience have anything? Yes, Mr. Arnold, come on down. Arnold's back from his visit up north, medical, working along the way to get his warranty in order. How are you, sir?
I'm doing great. Always happy to be back in Hoover. Some very interesting things that we saw there. One of the things that I'd like the zoning board as well as the city council to give consideration to would be the use of shipping containers, new shipping containers, 20-foot and 40-foot containers. I have some pictures that I took in Halifax. I even have a copy of their ordinance as to what's allowed and what's not allowed, including no containers in residential districts, only in commercial or recreational districts, not between a structure and the road. So very concise and well put together. So I do have pictures there, and I'll share that with anyone who wants to see.
Storage of excess inventory?
No. This is to generate sales. So you have jewelry being sold from there. You have clothing being sold from there. You have Segway bicycles, all sorts of stuff. Oh, as well as a two-story combination of 40-foot and 20-foot containers. So there's 2 floors worth of a beer garden, which might be perfect for that spot on over by the gateway on Route 31 that we had the presentation of. So I was listening to the budget presentation the other night, and it helped me understand what my personal top priority would be for Hoover to get involved with. And that's based upon Hoover is blessed with an excellent municipal workforce. We've seen and heard of our outstanding vehicle maintenance group, doing a great, cost-effective job with our vehicle, but also receiving praise from Pelham for the quality of work and quick turnaround that has happened. The residents of Hoover deserve problem-free service in their garbage, recycling, and leaves. In my opinion, this could best be accomplished by doing the job ourselves. We have the history of high quality, really caring employees at all levels. And I would suggest that we have a internal committee. And, by the way, I live in a community that does not have Sanitech providing service. We pay for our service separately, so it's not that I'm doing something that would benefit me or my neighbors.
You live in a condo?
Yes, we have dumpsters and all dumpsters.
Santec provide those dumpsters?
No,
Because I noticed in the budget, and I'm sure we already do this, doesn't the city pay for condominium complexes to have service?
In most cases, yes.
I'm wondering why this particular community is not.
We're continuously discovering scenarios where we have a condominium that's more occupied than we're not. So those come to our attention before.
I would suggest you contact Mr. Rice, maybe he can fix that issue.
Non-apartment complexes, not these.
Right, but Mr. Singer, you live in a condo.
correct.
Right. You might want to talk to Mr. Rice about that.
But, so I was unaware of that, so.
And to answer your question about a group to study this, the mayor's proposed budget has, I believe, $75,000 to do just that in the proposed budget.
Okay. I'm looking at things a little bit differently, okay? I would suggest starting with 3 very, very highly qualified people.
Anybody you know?
Yes, Ben Powell, Robert Yeager, and our vehicle maintenance man. Between the 3 of them, I think they could, even if we do decide to go consulting, that would be a great first step, and we might have enough information. And as long as they're given the freedom to come up with what they are finding objectively works, then I think that's a route for the council to consider. If you notice, I gave you my business card from the Hoover Historical Society. But yet, where is that log cabin? Does anybody know?
Oakland is still up at the school.
But if you wanted to know where it was, okay, you look below the log cabin, you'll see, get my copy and read what it says there. It's //age.darkest.redundant. That is a unique identifier of a 3 meter by 3 meter area in front of the log cabin, which is unique of the 57 trillion 3 meter by 3 meter areas that cover the globe, including the water. And if we talk about latitude and longitude, you go to 1 second of latitude and 1 second of longitude, you're talking about 8,080 square feet. 3 meters by 3 meters is 97 square feet. Read up about what 3 words. WHAT, the number 3 words. And we discussed that at another time, and this is something that could be implemented in phase 1 without any cost to the city except some training. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to speak tonight? We have a full house watching from home on YouTube. Anybody wants to get up? Mayor, anything else?
2 things, just to address one of the things that Singer said. We've been working several months on compiling data for going into the trash business ourselves, and now we believe that we have, or getting close to good enough information where it needs to be validated by an outside agency. So that's why we put that in the budget. And then finally, this is Food for Fines Month. So if you give an item at any public library, they will, when I say an item, a food item, they will, for every can of food given, they'll reduce your fine by $1, up to $10. So that goes on all this month. And Amanda, did I hit it?
Yeah, you got it, and the donated items that go to the Hoover Public Library, and we have an outpost senior center in the city hall too.
Yeah.
But, all of our items go to Green Valley Baptist Church Food Bank.
Right, okay, that's it.
Mr. Brent, representing the court, so y'all gonna participate? Somebody can reduce their court fine? Have to have some conversation with Judge Bishop, I guess.
Yes, sir.
Unless anyone else has anything else, who's getting up to talk?